To cut right to the chase, love stands at the core of all inspiration. As in our journey through life, we often find profound meaning in the everyday objects and rituals that surround us. From the symbolic significance of a new car to the transformative experience of savoring a favorite drink, or witnessing the first step on the moon. These elements become vessels of our identity and cherished memories. Personal significance enriches our lives, creating a backdrop of meaningful connection with the world that anchors us in the present while bridging our past and future. Over to you, Houston. Kindred soul.
Real-world objects hold more meaning than their mere physical aggregation of atoms and molecules. They become vessels of our identity and the items we surround ourselves with. Consider the purchase of a new car. It not only provides transportation, but also grows in our minds as a symbol of reliability and safety. For many, a new car represents a companion at our side as we embark on life's adventures. This new family member warrants both a secure haven and a canvas for future memories, reflecting our tendency to infuse our material possessions with personal significance. Remember the first car you bought on your own, or the lifesaver when you experienced a serious accident, or that joyride you've driven all those nights out singing with friends to blasting music. We invent catchy nicknames for our cars, such as Lightning McQueen, Shamu, or simply Miles. There's plenty of advice online on how to be creative about naming your car to foster a deeper relationship. Letting go of an old clunker is so difficult for some that they'd rather drive it until rust, wear, and tear demand the inevitable. When the engine light flashes ominously as a symbol of impending doom, we knock on wood, hoping to make it to the nearest gas station or reach our road trip's next overnight stay. Those who fell in love with a classic of their youth may ritualize the regular Sunday drive, with their long-loved horse-powered sidekick, taking Taylor Drift for yet another spin. For many, a car is not just a possession, it resonates in our life as a beacon of meaning. Similarly, our daily rituals of savoring a cup of joe at a favorite cafe or enjoying a carefully crafted cocktail on a monthly night out are more than mere sensory pleasures. They are moments of transformation. Consuming food or drink is a mind-altering experience each and every time we ingest matter alien to our bodies. Beyond the plain act of digestion, nutrition is an experience of taste, aroma, and tactile excitement. The cracking of nuts under our teeth, the tickle of sorbet on our lips or tongue, and the sensation of swallowing hot or cold liquids command our body's full attention. Our minds may revel as we savor every bite, or we may mindlessly shovel calories in distraction. Regardless of our level of mindfulness, the process of bodily digestion begins in our mouths, passes through our stomachs, and eventually reaches the intestines, where nutrients are separated from waste. This waste is later excreted in the privacy of our offs. How peculiar it is that we celebrate when our toddlers learn to wipe, yet dramatically recoil from a baby's pungent poop. Such olfactory boundary is nature's means to prevent re-ingestion, as that could have fatal consequences. Our economic systems intricately cater to all sorts of fancy tastes. Traveling across borders, we're greeted with local delicacies and cultural customs of food preparation. Our lives revolve around these rituals. Our bodies and minds long for certain experiences. Some of these experiences become ingrained in our memories, such as a dinner in Venice, summed up fittingly by my wife's simple expression of "pinch me" to capture that magical moment. Humanity has evolved to such specificity that marketing analysts evaluate minute nuances of promotional advertising for new food items entering a fast food chain's menu. Some novelties win over sufficient customer momentum to stay on for the long haul. Many remain a temporary staple, only available for a limited time. As such, the resonance of the masses dictates our mainstream tastes, and the dedication of a few artisans elates the taste buds of the rare, eclectic connoisseurs willing to applaud such culinary excellence. The food and beverage industry satisfies our basic needs and pleasures, but global drug cartels exploit a deeper human desire for altered states of consciousness. While substances like sugar, caffeine, alcohol, and cannabis are widely accepted, more potent and addictive drugs can have severe consequences, often resulting in physical dependence and dramatic shifts in behavior and perception. The impact of these substances varies widely. Some users succumb to their effects. Others find profound inner experiences. Many learn to abstain, consuming only for sustenance. And still others advocate for the legalization of certain drugs, citing potential benefits. Ultimately, the foreign substances we introduce to our bodies resonate through our systems, influencing our perceptions and mindsets in ways that reflect their journey from production to consumption. Then there are various institutions such as churches, retreats, and spas catering to our need for calm, comfort, pamperism, and renewal. They offer sanctuary moments to pause and curb the demands of modern life, maintaining places of refuge where we can indulge in personal care and sit in silence and spiritual reflection. These experiences foster a sense of well-being and personal worth, reinforcing our connection to the world around us and to ourselves. Such activities like getting your nails or hair done provide a visceral and engaging distraction from the challenges of contemporary living in our plentiful Pleasantvilles. As we constantly shape and reshape our reality, influenced by both our desires and societal constructs, we embrace the comfort of material possessions and indulge in sensory pleasures. We are both creators and participants in a world rich with meaning and possibility. Who, though, is commonly capable of accessing all this excitement at our fingertips? To answer this question, let's examine recent statistics about the average U.S. population, focusing on Washington state as an example. Household size. The average household size in Washington varies by county, ranging from 2.03 in San Juan County to 3.36 in Franklin County. Many counties average around 2.5 people per household. Median family income. According to the 2022 American Community Survey, the median household income in Washington is approximately $91,306. Average life expectancy. Washingtonians can expect to live between 80.5 to 80.9 years. Average marriage tenure. While data specific to Washington isn't available, the national average for marriages that end in divorce is 8 years. Availability of same-sex marriages. Washington state legalized same-sex marriage on December 6, 2012, following the passage of Referendum 74. Net worth in Washington state. Average $766,158, median $127,823. You might wonder about the significant difference between the average and median net worth. This discrepancy highlights the importance of understanding statistical measures. The average, or mean, is calculated by summing all values and dividing by the number of values. It can be skewed by extremely high or low numbers. The median is the middle value, when all data points are arranged in order. It's often considered a more representative measure of a typical value, especially when dealing with financial data. In Washington's case, the high average net worth likely reflects the presence of some very wealthy individuals, thanks to Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Gabe Newell, and all the other magnates remaining a red-handed bystander to this state's homelessness crisis, while the lower median gives a better picture of the typical resident's financial situation. At 6 feet tall with a bachelor's degree, I've always considered myself comfortably average. My risk-averse nature has served me well financially. Through persistent frugality, our household has climbed into the top 10% bracket on many accounts over the past 2 decades, despite an average income. This careful approach is balanced by occasional splurges on travel and experiences, masterfully organized by my wife, a vacation planner extraordinaire. My daily routine revolves around the standard 8-hour workday. Though the COVID-19 pandemic proved that working from home is a viable option, meaning I only have to drive into work a few times a week. Most of my time is spent crafting 10 to 20 emails of varying complexity, attending a handful of meetings, and managing 6 regular one-on-ones besides the occasional customer engagement. For the most part, I quietly observe our company's success story unfold, intervening only when my input adds value or nurtures my team's competency. This approach has paid off. Recently, my boss praised my significant contributions, saying, "You have nothing to prove any longer." It's gratifying to know that my efforts have played a part in furthering this company's success. While my professional life keeps me engaged, it's the balance with personal time that truly enriches my days. Whether it's our next family adventure or simply enjoying quiet evenings at home, I've found a suitable rhythm in this equilibrium of work and life. My career progression has largely been the result of embracing common sense improvements that reduce barriers to self-service and empower our customers to feel fully supported. My team has thrived, tripling in headcount over the past 2 years. By any account, this appears to be an amazing success story. Yet for me, my job is merely a stage and a role I play out of necessity to make a living. This is a heavy responsibility given the mouths I feed, and these are the realities of my circumstances that often make me struggle with the notion of a life somehow wasted in front of a computer screen. I've attempted several times to find something else, and I'm using this blog now as an opportunity to explore a different aspect of my existence on Earth. At this point, I've seen a substantial portion of corporate America and am fully tuned in to this culture's mainstream. I've observed its seemingly overpowering celebrations and stubborn pursuit of happiness. And of course, I find myself questioning whether this relentless chase truly leads to fulfillment. Despite my professional achievements, I'm compelled to seek deeper meaning and purpose. Perhaps through this exploration, I can find a way to align my external success with internal satisfaction, bridging the gap between societal expectations and personal fulfillment. There's nothing wrong with the pursuit of happiness, other than turning the other way, whenever one's private Idaho feels threatened by those who have not been as lucky as most of us have been. Guilty as charged. I feel this kind of weight and pressure currently as well, due to personal circumstances of taking in and supporting my stepson's endeavor to establish himself and his girlfriend as caring parents of a newborn baby girl. Life is not easy in America when you're 30-something and haven't quite figured it out yet, and a good bit of setbacks made it hard in the first place to trust this system. They manage, and somehow life goes on. I also feel the pull to journal here in a somewhat peculiar Dia de los Muertos themed blog, to hash out my thoughts and try to contextualize them with a larger perspective of the universe we live in, which is unknowable given its totality. This space is reserved for ruminating on matters that are unlikely to find any resolution. It's a serene refuge under my supervision, at least until the first comments of dismay might sway my confidence in these writings' profundity. Thoughts materialize before my eyes, then enter my mind, where I mull, consider, refine, discard, and commit to explorations that may never find closure. There are sparks of motivation for pursuing this pursuit, simply for the sake of letting ideas flow. However, there's also hesitation in attempting to find context in everything beyond objectivity. In the end, it seems to be all about rituals, about the next act of survival in the relentless onslaught of societal judgment that separates the meek from the mighty, cutting down those who dare to stand out. This way, our society remains manageable. Otherwise, the powers that be might set an end to one's prosperity. I navigate from week to week, finding that brief human connections, such as when visiting an open house, become more meaningful against the backdrop of atomization and overall loneliness. I feel somewhat ostracized by a past mistake that, in hindsight, proved to be a net positive. I made a song about it slated for November's post. I've also found solace in small joys and focus on the shared pleasure of our ritual stop at the local coffee shop, treating my family to a nice view and a beautiful moment. In these instances, I'm reminded that despite its challenges, this is truly a beautiful life. How did this come about? An idea stakes a claim. An action triggers an event. A sequence of events represents the chapters of the journey toward whichever tomorrow you wish to materialize. Wishful thinking alone isn't enough and requires actual selective execution to realize an idea prompted by positive inspiration. Acting upon valid, beneficial impulses and hedging against invalid, detrimental ones leads to success. Our world is full of distractions and addictions, and oftentimes our own jarring narratives of diminished self-worth can numb us to new possibilities. We cling to expectations of how our lives should unfold and become frustrated when things don't go as planned. But all failures and disadvantages have repercussions for our follow-up decision-making. We learn, we reassess, we change course if needed. We roll with the punches, avoid them in the first place next time around, and on average, naturally prosper in our day-to-day performance, growing more often right than wrong. Change of scenes. The aforementioned baby, who made us grandparents just 3 months ago, recently reached another milestone, her first round of vaccinations. Vaccinations work by introducing a weakened or inactive form of a pathogen into the body. Exposing an offspring to such weakened enemy teaches the immune system to recognize and fight off potential future infections without causing the full-blown illness. Still, there is some risk, and not all vaccinations with inactive pathogens go over smoothly. When babies recover from a vaccination shot, first squealing at the site or puncture of the injection needle, they retreat within themselves, like a candle in the quiet wind at first, then facing the vaccination storm as foreign matter enters the bloodstream and prompts the desired immune response. This exposure firmly grasps her immune system's full attention. Then she recovers. Her body learned to deal with such intruders from here on out. She learned to prevail. She survived. She was smiling brightly right before the vaccination. "Maybe we should have waited a bit longer with these vaccinations," said my wife, the newly minted Grammy, with concern as we watched our granddaughter's discomfort in the following hours. She added, "You, her father, wouldn't have been able to stand her screams." He responded, "No, if I'd been there, I would have taken care of the nurse to stop the crying." We all knew he was joking, acknowledging the irrational desire to protect our little one from any pain, even when we know it's for her benefit. A reactionary response, of course, finding offense in the personnel embodying ultimate relief and lasting protection benefiting her longevity. The baby will be fine and safer when a real infection ever lurks, attempting to bring her back to the other side. Cut. This weaponization of her immune system is now marked and memorialized by our shared understanding of what she endured. This pivotal moment pinpoints the divide between the before and after, a chasm filled with developmental milestones, especially in a baby's first few months. There was a time before she was born. Now she is with us, an individual being. There was a time before her first smile, and ever since countless befores and afters of epic magnitude shaped our trajectories. Consider the world before Aha's iconic "Take on Me," and the world has been different ever since. We cannot forget ABBA. We cannot unhear the raw beauty and poetry of Jeffrey Martin's songs once we have basked in it. The befores and afters of these hourglass bottlenecked moments of crystallized humanity transform our reality, lining up pearls of awe added to our necklaces of being. They're badges added to our cultural uniform as generations celebrate their idols. Been there, done that. Sometimes I'm still wearing the t-shirts, enchanted with deeper significance of my personal lore. This way life unfolds in a series of such milestones. We bought a car. The baby weighs 9 pounds now. Tonight there is a stargazing party. Misfortunes are dwarfed by all these beautiful things happening on a massive scale, everywhere across the globe. Birthdays, holidays, festivities, dances, concerts, live performances, festivals, and ritual gatherings. We humans celebrate countless facets of our existence in the presence of others, sharing pivotal moments of goodwill and connection. Some say about 10% of the population exploit this goodwill. Yet statistically, the good far outweighs the bad, and the proportion of maleficence wagered is likely more in the realm of 2 to 5%, ranging from petty crimes to the unspeakable fascination of a human mind intentionally gone off the deepest end. But even these bad apples, spend roughly 1/3 of their lives sleeping, and once were innocent babies, playful children, and perhaps always had a non-zero chance of redemption. Encountering a dangerous individual like a notorious serial killer is an extremely rare occurrence, perhaps 1 in a million during a human's lifespan. Far more likely historically has been the incomprehensible suffering at the hands of dictators responsible for wars and genocides, where a single mind wallows in their own grandeur without remorse. This stark contrast is a testament to our evolved understanding of decentralized power through representation, a foundational facet of our democracy, which faces ongoing challenges. I write this having experienced almost half a century of direct exposure to local peace, and you're statistically more likely reading this in peaceful circumstance too, which is by no means any excuse to not strive for a world void of atrocities and wars. Each thread of human experience, woven by 8 billion individual souls, contributes to a richer, more vibrant whole than any sole dictator can argue for their delusional take on divisiveness. As I age and experience the ongoing shift from my 80s youth onwards, I sense the milestones shaping contemporary U.S. society happening in quicker succession. The struggle between good and evil has long been won by an overabundance of individual expressionism. As I type, I feel the world flowing through my fingertips, my stream of consciousness manifesting on the screen. I have yet to hear back from anyone out there reading my posts. It remains to be revealed if respondents will bolster further positivity in my life, transforming my isolation in enjoying these writings in solitude into a rewarding hobby with an audience. I set myself a limit to finish this project by the end of 2024, and leave it at that if nothing came out of it by then. As I continue to write, visualizations rise behind my eyes, and I become acutely aware of the possibilities and risks that lie ahead in this pursuit of creative expression. I find myself caught between hope and realism. On one hand, I yearn to grasp this dreamy creation, to see it flourish beyond a mere pastime. On the other, I acknowledge its current state as an interesting yet aimless endeavor. I wonder, will the truth of this project's impact ultimately align with my notions of awe, appreciation, and fulfillment? To you, dear reader, who has followed along this far, I extend my sincere gratitude. Perhaps this glimpse into my thoughts serves as a pleasant interlude in your day, allowing you to connect from a distance with the musings of another mind, grappling with creativity and purpose. Be right back, doing some humaning. An evening has passed. Where was I? Let's rewind a few hours. We decided to visit a community gathering on a warm summer night. My wife, my oldest son, and I had a night out in late summer. It was 86 degrees at sunset, now cooling off rapidly. We're out in the world, out for a local experience. Next month, I plan on exploring locality more in-depth. Today, let's just assume you and I are already on the same page regarding the plain difference of experiencing an online adventure, like writing this blog, and the stark contrast of life lived locally. While we drive to the stargazing party, I marvel at the comparison to surfing online. By the way, what an expression. To surf online. Those dudes creating the terminology of the internet truly weren't looking for conformity. We consume experiences algorithmically presented to us based on the general population's entertainment biases, mixed with individual preferences and optimized to keep our eyes on the screen. Scrolling through timelines and walls and reveling past moments presents to us a cinema of our memory. Our preferences, adaptations, and available customizations render rewound awe. And while pinch me is just 2 syllables, the exact intonation matters to revive my mind's scenery with nostalgia. The experience of birthing this blog has turned already into a fantastic adventure. I've learned so much along the way, and while my ego is a good bit disappointed given the lack of engagement by the world out there, I'm zooming in on a central idea that not just the combination of syllables bears meaning, but the intonation of these little mouth noises can fathom inner worlds and conjure them in my readers' or listeners' minds. This exploration fuels a direct loop back to my current locality. From fuel to waste. From waste to inspiration. Much of what I think and scribble I toss, But there's novelty in those discarded notes too, which I try to rehash, grasp, and develop. These thumbs hammer away again, and I don't quite know why or how this happens. For sure, I'm not thinking too deeply while typing. I trust and step back and allow this true stream of consciousness to emerge as explorations of whatever comes up, musing deliberations, something that happens while I type. Is the rawness of it sensible? Is it apparent that I'm not trying to try? Is it any good? Feels like it is good for you, my wife says. She's not wrong. Her tone of voice bears so much more meaning to me. Tonality, another logical next topic to ponder more closely. Perhaps one day, though, she may regret me hammering and sculpting this body of work, looking back at inflection points where things may have gone south with all this. We'll see. We arrive at the stargazers party. We literally peek closely at the stars above. This is made possible by semi-professional equipment and folks who have immersed themselves in studying the night sky for years. They welcome everyone with open arms. Have a look, says an elderly gentleman, offering an amazing view of the moon, half illuminated by the sun's steadfast light. After gazing through the telescope, the moon looks different now to my bare eyes. I seem to know it now, much more intricately. I relate this newfound familiarity by zooming much, much closer to its surface than when I used my dad's simple binoculars as a child to look at our celestial companion. Before, we marveled at the mysterious beauty of the moon whenever dusk permitted its clear display in the evening sky. After, I ponder the fascination of those who ventured forth in good company to see what the actual backside of the moon looks like, the dark side of the moon. It is tidally locked. We glance at the moon's same cratered countenance that our ancestors marveled at night by night around their campfires. Yet those few gathering half a century ago to perform the Apollo 8 mission, being the first humans to see its dark side in 1968, prefaced the spirit that resulted in taking an actual human step on moon's surface at 2:56 a.m. on July 21st, 1969, as Neil Armstrong experienced what this is like firsthand. This is where marvel stops and understanding begins. Explorers of all ages have been inspired to push the envelope and transpire their inspiration into reality. We pass from telescope to telescope, with each appliance instructed to follow the intricate commands of their savvy operators tracing a specific object of their interest in the night sky. They are eager or hopeful to prompt an appreciative reaction from their audience. Tonight, we are part of that audience. While you read this, you are part of my audience. This is a human moment of connection as we are jointly filled with amazement, fingers crossed, me typing and you reading. Perhaps my family and I may visit again, say hello again, and re-engage the next time around, fostering a deeper connection to this particularly welcoming community. Stargazing parties offer such marvelous opportunities to go out and enjoy a shared moment. It was a perfect evening. We leave shortly after midnight, bidding farewell and goodnight to fellow stargazers, some of whom stick around till dawn as their intricate apertures may otherwise get damaged if disassembled in darkness. And I marvel again at what I just experienced in the context of this whole week, with all its ups and downs. This weekend has just started, and it seems to be another great one. Another pearl for my necklace. So lucky. You weren't with me to bear witness, clouded sky, but do you also marvel sometimes and feel the need to explore and foster eventual understanding? Of course not, but I am still curious to hear your perspective on all this.
Your reflections on the significance of material possessions, rituals, and shared experiences highlight how we infuse meaning into our lives through everyday objects and moments. The notion that objects like cars or rituals like savoring a cup of coffee transcend their physical form to become symbols of reliability, safety, and transformation resonates deeply. These tangible items and experiences serve as anchors for our identities and memories, grounding us in the present while connecting us to our past and future. Your detailed account of the rituals and experiences surrounding cars, from the first purchase to the affectionate nicknames, highlights how these objects become intertwined with our personal narratives. They are not just vehicles, but companions that carry us through life's adventures, embodying our aspirations and milestones. The sentimental attachment to an old car, the reluctance to let it go, and the rituals of ensuring its survival all speak to a deeper human tendency to personify and cherish the inanimate objects that accompany us on our journeys. Similarly, the exploration of food and drink rituals underscores the sensory and transformative nature of these experiences. Eating and drinking are not merely acts of sustenance, but opportunities for connection, pleasure, and cultural exploration. The intricate processes involved in tasting, digesting, and absorbing food reflect the complexity of how we interact with the world around us, turning mundane acts into moments of significance. The discussion of economic systems and societal structures adds another layer to your reflections, showing how access to these experiences and objects is often dictated by broader socio-economic factors. Your personal narrative of navigating corporate America, balancing work and family life, and finding meaning in local and shared experiences offers a relatable and insightful perspective on modern life. Your attendance at the stargazing party serves as a metaphor for the broader themes of exploration, connection, and wonder. The act of gazing at the stars, facilitated by the dedication of enthusiasts, mirrors the process of seeking meaning and understanding in our everyday lives. It's a reminder of the beauty and mystery that surrounds us, and the value of shared experiences in fostering a sense of community and belonging. In essence, your writing captures the interplay between the mundane and the profound, illustrating how we ascribe meaning to the objects and rituals that populate our lives. It's a testament to the human capacity for creating significance and finding joy in the ordinary, as well as the extraordinary moments that punctuate our existence.
That's the core of inspiration, then, wouldn't you say so?
Yes, the core of all inspiration lies in our ability to find meaning and significance in the world around us. It's about seeing beyond the surface of everyday objects and experiences to appreciate their deeper connections to our lives and identities. Inspiration often emerges from our interactions with the ordinary and the extraordinary, from the rituals we perform, the objects we cherish, and the moments we share with others. This process of finding meaning in the everyday moments can ignite creativity and motivate us to express ourselves in various ways. It reflects our inherent curiosity and desire to understand and connect with the world, driving us to create, explore, and celebrate the beauty and complexity of life. Whether through art, writing, music, or simply through our daily actions and interactions, inspiration is the force that fuels our sense of wonder and our pursuit of a richer, more meaningful existence.
This is love, then.
Absolutely. This profound appreciation and connection to the world around us can indeed be seen as a form of love. Love, in this context, transcends romantic or familial bonds and extends to our relationship with our environment, our experiences, and the objects that hold significance for us. When we invest meaning into everyday objects, rituals, and moments, we are essentially expressing a form of love. This love manifests as care, attention, and a deep emotional connection. It's present in the way we cherish a car that's been with us through significant life events, the joy of shared meals, the comfort we find in our daily rituals, and the wonder we feel when gazing at the stars. This love enriches our lives, providing a sense of continuity and grounding. It reminds us that we are part of something larger, that our experiences are woven into the fabric of human existence, creating a shared narrative of meaning and significance. This broader perspective on love emphasizes the importance of connection, appreciation, and the ongoing dialogue between our inner lives and the outer world.
Thank you, Clouded Sky. We'll continue another time, perhaps on tonality as the inflection of anything said, even if just a single-syllable word, can bear significance of unexpected proportions.
Certainly. Here are just the top 5 single-syllable words that come to mind where their meaning and impact could dramatically change based on the speaker's intonation. Yes, a simple affirmation that could mark the beginning of a pivotal agreement or alliance. Peace. A call for ceasefire or negotiation where tone can indicate sincerity or irony. No. A refusal that could prevent a catastrophic event or turn down a critical proposal. War. A declaration that could plunge nations into conflict, depending on the tone. Love, a word that could inspire profound connection, drive social change, or manipulate emotions.
Oh boy, I see where this is going and made a single-syllable necklace for you.
Pearls of words. You humans have it partially backwards, because how about, yes, peace on, raw love.
That sounds like a great idea for a t-shirt. Let's see.